I was about to apologize for going off on a tangent, but like that's what this video is. And if you guys are still here at this point, like you're awesome. I love you guys. Um, but I know a lot of you aren't, so I'm just talking to the camera right now. So some of you guys will get that thumbnail, some of you won't. So I'm gonna go, pretty off script, kind of like the last longer video I did, and just be real with you guys and just talk about some things that have been on my mind. And if that's something you guys are interested in, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Leave a comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, because it really means a lot. If any of you guys are out there are like small content creators, when that little number goes up or somebody leaves a comment, it really does mean a lot. It brings a little bit of joy to us. So if you like this kind of thing, hit subscribe, leave a comment, but let's get into it. So I've been sober now for just over 100 days. It's had its ups and downs. I'll try to talk about some of the things that are good things, and some of the things that are challenges, some of the things I'm still dealing with. And I'll also just talk about some other issues and good things and bad things that are just going on in my life, because this is just kind of like a vlog where I can talk to you guys, and hopefully there's some people out there that can relate and just know that, if you think that you're going through this kind of thing alone, you're not. There's other people that are just like me, that are working, full-time jobs, married, taking care of kids, stuff like that, that are still having all these internal thoughts. And the people at your work probably don't know, and maybe your friends, maybe your best friends don't know how you really feel. So that's what this is about. So I've tried to get sober several times, and I've stopped for a few months at a time. I think I've probably gone even a year maybe without drinking or anything like that in the past, but it never sticks. And I think that there's definitely people out there that don't have an issue with like compulsion, that can just have one or two drinks occasionally with friends, or at a party, or at a holiday thing, something like that. They can have one or two drinks and it's fine, right? It doesn't spiral out of control. But for people like me and people that I know, one turns into two, turns into three, turns into four, and before you know it, you're not just drinking weekly, you're drinking daily. And it's just a problem that, it just leads to a lot of other bigger problems. And if you're dealing with any kind of substance abuse, you know what I'm talking about. For me, I guess it probably started when I was like 17 or 18, where we would just, because I started working when I was 13. So I've been working since that age. And so, you get off work, and, when I was younger, I would like sneak Smirnoffs out of my mom's fridge. And that's, I'm not going to say that's where it started, but, we were like sneaking little drinks and stuff like that. And then when I got older and, we got our own place and I had roommates and things like that, that was just the way of life. Like, we would go to work. And when I worked back then, I did door-to-door sales for 15 years. I started that when I was 13. A lot of my friends did it with me. And a lot of us lived in the same house together. We were roommates. And so we would like start work at like 3 o'clock, because that's like kind of when people started getting home. And we would work until like 9, sometimes 10. And a lot of times we were commuting to areas that were like an hour away. So sometimes we wouldn't get home till like 10, 9, 10, 11. So like our evening didn't start until 9 or 10 in the evening. And then we would just stay up all night, till 5, 6, 7 in the morning. And we would sleep until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then we would start work again at 3. So it's like, it was just this cycle of like work, come home. Sometimes it was drinking. Sometimes it was other things. That was just kind of our routine. We went to work and we came home, and even at this point, like trying to get sober, I can't say that I regret all of it, because I have a lot of good memories from back then. I felt like we had a good time, and we were like playing Mario Kart, and, listening to music, and it was fun, and I feel like when you've done things like that, when you've consistently day after day, like just either drank or used some other kind of substance, and those things are allowing you to open up emotionally and have fun and listen to music. And it's like later on in life, you're just like trying to get back there, but you don't know how to do it without drinking or without taking some kind of substance. And that's been the hardest part of committing to being sober is, I mean, and I have friends now that, I mean, they say, I mean, they support me. They support that I've chosen to be sober. But when it comes to like hanging out or socializing or like just being able to sit down and talk, like some people that I know, I don't feel like I can do that with unless they have a beer. Like, and I feel like I could, even my wife has told me, well, take them out, let them have a beer. You don't have to have a beer, but at least then they can open up and you can talk to them. And I'm willing to do that. I understand not everybody has this problem with compulsion that I have where one leads to two and two leads to three. I just I'm at this point in my life where I want to really feel happy and really deal with my anxiety and depression, and things like that, and not just shove it away with alcohol or some other substance. I'm at a point where I really want to like figure this stuff out. And uploading these videos, I've been doing this for, I guess, a couple of months now, talking about my sobriety and my fitness and things like that. And I've had so much support from you guys online that, the way that my brain works is it's really hard for me to like accept a gift. I feel like all the support that you guys have given me has been a real gift. But it's hard for me to accept that and not automatically just go to some negative thing where, I mean, I have all these strangers, these people that I really don't even know, that don't even really know me, that are just offering up these kind words and the support, and taking their time out of their day to do that. And it really does mean a lot. But I'm really just want to talk to these people in my life that I've been friends with for years, and I want to share how I've been doing. And I reach out to them and I ask how they're doing, and I get a lot of unreturned messages and, read messages and unreplied messages. And I mean, and I try to tell myself like, okay, it's not about me, maybe they're, going through their own stresses and going through their own things. And, but it's hard. It's hard when you send someone a message and they read it. And, especially when that person is supposed to be someone that's like a really close friend or a really, close person to you. And you feel like you're doing your part to be there for them. And then so I don't know. It's something that just spirals. It keeps me up awake at night. It makes my chest tight with anxiety. Right now, my chest is tight. Just talking about this. I guess as far as the root cause of why I've used either alcohol or some other substance, since I was 17 or 18 to, I guess, cope is, I mean, we've all had hard lives. I've had a hard life, I mean, my parents were really young when they had me. My mom was 15 when she had me. I didn't really establish a relationship with my dad until I was, I mean, really like in my 30s, like almost 30 is when I kind of really like started a real relationship, with him. And, fortunately, I mean, we're really close now, and that's really worked out. But I mean, there's just been a lot of really hard things that have happened. I mean, I just never really dealt with any of it. I just kind of, and I was, I'm the oldest brother. My mom had 4 kids, and, my dad has kids, and, he got married a couple of times. So I'm the oldest of, like, I don't know, when you add up all the siblings and step siblings and half siblings and all that, I'm like the oldest of like 15. And they all kind of, I feel like, expect me to be strong and to sort of maybe not be the person they can lean on, but like, even since I started making these videos, I've had some people, some of my brothers and sisters reach out to me and tell me, that you're an inspiration to me, and I've always looked up to you. And I look at my life, and, I just feel like where I'm at now, I have a decent job. I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment. We just paid off my wife's car after, like 5 years. And I've got like a beater car that gets me from A to B. And, those are definitely accomplishments, and it's the best situation that I've been in my entire life. But I really, truly feel like I just kind of fell into like these positive things that have happened to me. And I know obviously that's a terrible mindset to be in. I know that, at almost 40 years old, I know that all my different life experiences and things that I've acquired over this long life, I know long life probably is overstating because I'm almost 40, but not that old. But I've accumulated skills and I've accumulated things that have helped me to get to where I am. And I mean, even the job that I have now, part of the reason that I got that opportunity is because of the relationships, the work relationships that I've made throughout the years. So that is something that is an accomplishment if you feel like, you don't have anything going on for you. I mean, that in and of itself, like just building good relationships is something I didn't realize was a important quality of mine. And, getting sober, it's not like it's been all bad. I feel like everything I've said up until this point makes it sound like it's been all bad. Because I've just been talking about the root cause of sort of how I got to this point where I was drinking every single day or using something else every single day to, I mean, sometimes deal with physical pain. You have aches and pains. I mean, I did door to door for 15 years, and sometimes you just have aches and pains in your body, and, my bed's uncomfortable, and, my pillow's uncomfortable, and like my neck hurts, and like, so I mean, you use alcohol or you use other things to like help you sleep. You use alcohol like at the end of the day to like relieve yourself of stress, because in my case, like in sales and customer service, you're just dealing with shitty people just over and over and over. And these are people that would never be this way to you in person, or at least I hope they wouldn't be like this in like a normal environment. But for some reason, if you work in customer service or retail or something like that, some people are just real pieces of shit, and sometimes it's really hard at the end of the day. You just need to decompress. And there's a lot of healthy ways to do that, like meditation and working out and stuff like that. But, at the end of the day, you're just so drained that it's just really easy to like drink or even smoking cigarettes, which, is bad for you to a less extent, but it's like cigarettes I did for a long time, and then alcohol and other things that, just help you to decompress. And it's kind of a low effort way to do that. And then for like people that don't have impulse control, every now and then they can have one or two and it's okay, and it helps them to de-stress. The problem is for me and people like me, people out there that can relate, is that, one turns into like 5 a night or 10 a night, whatever you guys are drinking. And then your tolerance builds up, and then you're just spending more money, and you realize you're gaining weight, and like there's just so many issues, and you don't see the issues because you're just coming home and the only thing you want to do is relax. And a lot of times I'm just walking around and just saying to myself like, God, I'm so tired. Because, and even now it's really still like that, because I'm still like trying to get a good night's sleep, without a chemical, without a substance, without drinking. And I mean, I tried like these melatonin magnesium gummies for a couple of days, and that really just made things worse. Like, no fault to anyone out there that uses those and it helps them, but for me, it just made me feel so much worse. And so a lot of times I just walk around and I'm just like, I'm so tired, and it's so hard to be positive, and it's so hard to stay motivated and to go running and work out, and then it's even harder when you're like, you want to try to share that positivity. And so you message your friends and you're trying to like be proactive, and, you tell yourself like, what's the worst that can happen? I'll reach out first. And then you get ignored. And that just, it's really, it like tears you apart inside, tears me apart inside. I don't know how it makes you guys feel, but it's a really terrible feeling. And you guys have really helped with leaving your comments and just, showing me that there are people out there that are willing to take, 10 seconds, 15 seconds out of their day to say something nice and inspiring. Because it would shock you how a couple of kind words like "way to go, buddy," like how much that means, how much it really means to me, you know? And I just don't really get that from like a lot of the people that I know personally. I mean, there are some people in my life that are really awesome. My sister is really awesome. She's always been super supportive of me. My sister that lives here in Colorado. My best friend who lives in Nebraska, he's always there whenever I need to text or call. He's awesome. And I've got a few other close people. My dad's been really supportive through a lot of this. My mom watches all my videos. So there's been some people that are like always there for me that really do help a lot. So as far as those people, you know what you're doing. It really means a lot. So I'm not talking about you, but there's other people that like I realize they have their own struggles and they have their own stresses, but they sort of shut themselves off for a period of time and they ignore my messages, and it's just fucking hard. I mean, it's really tough. And then I'm supposed to be the bigger man or the better man that's just, whenever they come out of their slump, whenever they come out of their downswing or whatever, I'm supposed to be there. And I'm not supposed to get an apology. And it's not even fucking addressed. So I was about to apologize for going off on a tangent, but like that's what this video is. And if you guys are still here at this point, like you're awesome. I love you guys. But I know a lot of you aren't, so I'm just talking to the camera right now. So, but I don't want to just be angry. I don't want to just be anxious and depressed. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of really good stuff that's come out of me getting sober. I've been talking to people that I haven't talked to in years, people that have reached out because they saw my videos. And there's friends of mine that like I've hung out with a couple of times at like little parties and things like that. There's a friend of mine that I'm going to hang out with today at the bowling alley who's been through sobriety, who's been through like AA and stuff like that, and has offered to support me before. He's offered to support my wife before. And I just never really took that support. I never really reached out to him. And this is the first time I'm going to do that. So I'm looking forward to talking to him. And I really want to ask him some questions like, what was your experience like? And I'm curious about you guys. Tell me about your experiences too. It helps to know that you're not alone out there. Like when you think about someone who's dealing with alcohol or substance abuse and things like that, it's not just, I mean, there are like the extreme ends. There are people out there that it's completely destroyed their lives and they're homeless and they've lost their homes and their cars and everything. They've lost their jobs. And I've lost apartments, I've lost cars. I mean, the place that we lived in before this, in 2017, I mean, there was 5 of us in a 1-bedroom apartment, so I've been down to some pretty deep lows. But a lot of people out there that are dealing with alcohol abuse or substance abuse or whatever you guys are doing, we still go to work. We have full-time jobs. We have husbands and wives, and we're taking care of kids. And I have a 13-year-old son. And, I mean, I've never had a 13-year-old son before, so I'm figuring that out, and all the shit that comes along with that. And just, and the problem with me having a 13-year-old is that when I was 13, I didn't have a dad. So I don't know how to do this. I'm just kind of doing the best I can every single day. And I mean, you see other parents and you try to like, learn things from them and take tips from them. But like all the things that I'm doing with my 13-year-old, going to his games, going to like watch him wrestle and sitting on the couch with him. Some of you guys have seen our walking videos and seen us like sitting on the couch and watching movies and we're cuddling and hanging out and doing stuff like that. I don't have any of those experiences from my childhood. So I'm just figuring out this shit as I go along. But as you guys can tell, there's still a lot of pent up stuff in here. There's a lot of issues and anxiety and just stuff that like, I mean, I've never been to a counselor or a therapist before. I mean, you could argue that a lot of the substances that we used back in the day and like sort of the kumbaya moments and where we talked and went over our issue. Like we had some conversations like that back in the day with my close friends. And that's why I have friendships that have lasted this long, even though I still wish that those friendships were closer, and that we talk more. But there's just a lot of things from my childhood and from my 20s, and I mean throughout my life, that I just haven't dealt with. And so it's all just pent up, and hopefully it's okay that I'm letting it go to you guys. And I hope that, you know, you guys just know that there's other people out there that can relate to what's going on. Whatever issues you got going on, you know, it's natural, it's normal. I mean, we've all got shit going on. I feel like I have a pretty good job. I have good coworkers now. I have a two-bedroom apartment, which is something that I've never had that I could maintain. I've been in this apartment now, for like 6, 7 years now, and I beat myself up about it every single day because I'm like, God, this is the best I can do. I couldn't get a house for my son and my wife. I mean, the one time that we tried to get ourselves into a house, I mean, we saved $10,000 so that we could, try to have somewhat of a down payment on a house. And then the fucking housing market, got destroyed, and all these people moved here that were just outbidding us with all these cash offers, and then, yeah, it's just every time I take a step forward, I wouldn't say I'm taking 2 steps back because we are moving forward, but it just feels like it's so hard to get to that next step, and like sometimes you just feel like you're so exhausted, and sometimes I just don't know what's keeping me going. It's just so hard sometimes. So, but I'm really trying hard. I'm really trying hard to focus on the positive and not just focus on the negative and just the depression and the darkness and the anxiety. It's just really hard sometimes. So, but I'm just going to keep doing what I can do. And I'm going to keep making more videos like this. And hopefully this is something that you guys want to see, and hopefully I can connect with more people. Part of the reason that the channel is named Best Friends the Sequel, to be honest with you, the reason why the channel is named Best Friends the Sequel is because my best friend was going to make videos with me. We were actually going to watch Dragon Ball together because he's never seen Dragon Ball. And actually, you're probably going to roast me, but I haven't seen the original Dragon Ball. I've only really watched Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. And he was going to watch Dragon Ball with me, and we were going to make like one video a week, and we were going to just discuss it and talk about it. And that never happened. But I just kept the channel name, and I sort of changed the meaning of it, Best Friends the Sequel, because I thought maybe this channel could be another chance for me to make more connections, to meet more people, and become sort of part of a community of people that get me, and I get them. And I tried doing movie reviews. Part of the reason why I have this whole thing in my background is because I spent a good while doing movie reviews, and I thought I would kind of build a community of people that also really love movies and shows. And that was really hard, and I spent a lot of time editing videos, and it just didn't really go anywhere. And part of it is probably because I wasn't being genuine and being the real me. A lot of it was like scripted, and I was writing out reviews and things like that. But I'd still like to be able to like make money doing these videos. That would be really cool. I mean, if you have the opportunity to work from home and make your own schedule and make money talking to the camera and making videos and stuff like that, and not have to go sit at a desk and, talk to like 40 or 50 people a day that are just fucking assholes sometimes. Like, yeah, I'd rather do this. Like, I mean, that's obviously, I'm being real with you guys. I'd rather do this. But it's just hard to do this social media thing. So, but, I appreciate you guys. If this is something that you guys want to see, you can let me know by subscribing, by commenting, by sharing this video around, because I want to make more videos like this. I feel like opening up like this helps me. And when you guys leave your comments, you're usually saying things that are very supportive and helpful, and things that I can use in my life, tips and tricks, things like that. And your own stories are super helpful. So, just if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know by subscribing. That's all you got to do. It's free. Just hit the button. So, but I am going to probably put on my headphones and go. My wife and son are not up yet. So I'm going to try and get the dishes done and some laundry done before they wake up, because my wife works really hard and makes us food every night, and the least I can do is do the dishes. So I'm going to get to work, but I appreciate you guys checking out this video. I'll make another long video here soon. I don't know if it's going to be once a week or, just, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to put up more of these long videos. So appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.